Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to me by Dragonaris, who is one of my mods on my Trying Human Discord channel. You should go over there if you like Trying Human, my webcomic. Woo! Okay, anyway, so we're gonna get started here. This is the first thing I'm doing this morning. We're having some rain in the area, and the power already flickered, and I'm like very nervous we're gonna lose power while I'm recording, but we're gonna go for it. Okay, so this is basic. Well, it's always going to be an anatomy check, but there's also a few other little things like wings and tails and whatnot. I'm not going to worry about these spikies or these hornies because, yeah, because I don't want to worry about them. Okay, so first thing that really like stood out to me was the legs. So we're going to do the legs. So what I like to do is I like to draw through the figure and kind of like x-ray them a little bit. I want to say his butt is like a tad low. I might even, if he's, so I don't know if this leg is, or excuse me, this foot, I guess the whole leg is supposed to be lifted. I'm not sure. It's not flat anywhere, so I'm going to say it is probably supposed to be lifted. I might like bring this down a little more at an angle like that. In fact, I will do it. Just a little bit. And then for this leg, I would turn the foot a little bit. Just a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like pretty much all the way. um, it's a really nice foot though. Like the original one. If I was you, I would like save it. I have a file of just like feet and hands and eyeballs and things that I've drawn that I've liked, but then I couldn't use in the final drawing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to let it go. And I just, I keep them for later. Once at a blue moon, I have to like throw some like scuzzball hand into something. I go and get one of those hands. So you'll see like right there, I did a guideline because I realized like it probably should be more like that. So I'll also let you see down the pant cuff a little bit, which I always like. I like when you can kind of like see down into the clothing a little bit, like that sort of like darkness in there. I use that all the time now. I probably like overuse it, but trying to show kind of like the hump of the toe. If I had like more time to spend on this, I could like really get in there and like make it look really pretty and spend like way too much time on the feet and stuff, but we gotta go. So this one I'm not even gonna bother like going over because this is pretty much how I would draw that foot. I feel like maybe this should bend a little, like come out a little more. Something like that. What would be the best way to go about doing this? Let's go like this and like this. By the way, as you so it will be subtle in a picture like this, but like as you stretch the leg out away from the torso, the butt is going to like flatten more. Like that. And then like as you like bring the knees towards the chest, pretend this is a chest, I'm doing this very fast, you're going to start getting a lot more like curve and flexion in the buttocks. So, like I said, it's going to be like subtle in a drawing like this, but also as you push the leg really hard back, like I forget what those kicks are called, like when you exercise or you kind of like kick backwards with a straight leg, you'll get like a pinch right here, a lot more than if you're just like bringing the leg out to sort of like a neutral position away from the body. God, I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well. It's too early in the morning. It's too early. I barely had my coffee. So just trust me. Look up pictures of butts. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Also, I should mention, try to look up photos. As I was prepping for this drawing, I went and looked at a few images of like super scrawny guys. And like near starvation levels of scrawny because of you can see like his entire chest wall and everything like straight through his skin. And I noticed I was getting a lot of like CGI images, and they looked fine at first glance, but then I started to get a little nervous, and I was like, well, I don't know like where they reference these images, like, you know, when the sculptor was doing this model, I don't know where he references from, and I didn't want to like do some weird anatomy faux pas. So I went and actually like looked at real photos of skinny people. So look at authentic images of butts. God, it's been a while since I've drawn a sternum. Something like that. Is that right, guys? Let me get a little fadey brush here so we can just soften that. So here I did the midline. Most people, when you start to see this bend right here, the belly button is going to fall along it, and if you were to split the torso up, the belly button usually falls about what, like 2/3 of the way down. And I believe it's between so if you have a 6-pack, I believe it's between the lower of the 2 creases in the 6-pack. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying so early in the morning. Let's get rid of all this. I would I would like over enhance this just a little bit more. Just like a tiny bit, just to show like how skeletal he is, but and this needs to go back more. And I can't even think of what that little guy is called, that little curve there, but it would be like more back here. This peck is just like this bottom edge is falling lower than this one. This one's like hooking. It almost looks like it could hook on top of this peck here. Sorry, it might be hard to see with my my green on it, but here, let me go in. We'll go close. Enhance. So this line here, see how if you follow with your brain mind, it goes like under this peck. Sort of, if you were to continue that line, that's the kind of stuff that we're sort of looking at here. Let's soften all this a little bit more. Okay. Clavicle would curve up. It's going to follow the pitch of the shoulder, especially if the shoulder is rising. When it comes to sort of like the musculature that you could see, like this much of it, like under the pecs and stuff, I'm not an expert in that. I would highly recommend getting references. I'm not saying you didn't, but as you know, my knowledge ends. I will say though, I know it's sort of curved and then like basically like tethered or strapped like right at the edge of the pec. So I mean, your guess is as good as I know. I actually think this looks pretty good. I will say for the ribs, this shingling that you're seeing like this, that's the serratus, or what I think you're trying to show is the serratus muscles. They don't go down that far. They'll probably like end like right in here somewhere. So you want to take the rib and wrap it all the way back. And the serratus, what is it? It's the serratus adductor. I don't know. It's some shit like that. But anyway, my anatomy teacher's like, no. But it will wrap. You'll want to take the ribs, wrap them back, and then the serratus will sort of disappear from this angle below the ribs. But it's very subtle. And on a skinny person, I was looking at a few photos of guys like flexing like really skinny bros flexing their arms up over their head, and unless they were like really like tensing up their chest wall, you couldn't really make out the serratos. So your mileage may vary. Watch, somebody's gonna come in here and be like, "That's not the serratos. That's something else," and I'm gonna feel stupid. So I like this. This is kind of making me want to like design like a super skinny character for like a side comic or something. Not for like Trying Human. Everybody well fed and Trying Human. Okay. So when it comes to doing this area, you're gonna do how would I explain this? So the shoulder muscles go over the arm. You're gonna get a slight taper, though I'm kind of like overdoing it, down to the elbow joint. You're gonna want to think of this as like a chain. So you're gonna get some like different overlaps here, and then this part is like where I've only recently started to like get some like decent knowledge about, but you're gonna have your pecs sort of go. It's gonna go like pecs, rib, and then behind the rib, you're gonna start to see the back of like where the shoulder blade would be, and the like musculature cage on the back side of the body. Though depending again on how high or low your character's arms are, you may not even see that. So it's all trial and error. So there's kind of like this little like lumpo there. We don't need that. You're going to want to get good at drawing that shape. It's kind of like an upside down like bottle or vase maybe. It's pretty organic though, but like it's a shape that you see repeated all over the human body. And then I would even like sort of flex that out just a tiny bit. Like I would over exaggerate that pose. And then the hand, so that would be the left hand. His left, my right, is quite big. So I'm trying to think what's the best way to do this. I'm going to go over the hand on its own and then kind of like move my traced hand into position. So like right here, this little like nodule that I know what you're trying to draw there. It's like where the wrist connects to the the arm bone. Uh, this would be more like behind. At least that's what I would do for like a more cartoony character. And then you're going to want to do that, like kind of have everything fall in front. But do you see this kind of like chain thing that's forming here? I have a drawing somewhere that somebody did of a human arm and then showing like the chain that happens where you have like it goes back and forth twisting, like showing the like overlap back and forth. I'm not doing a good job explaining this, but you'll have to take my word for it for now. Maybe I can make another video when I'm not so tired and go into better detail. How many fingers does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's just got like standard human numbers of fingers. Which I'm not sure if I can show all of them. One thing I do, and you don't have to do this, but I like to, so when I have like all the fingers, especially if characters have like long nails like this, it all starts to kind of just taper together. So I like to like put a pinky up or something just to like break up the kind of like piano key feel that hands can get when you're drawing them. But again, you don't have to do that. Just something to think about. Or the other thing you can do is you can start to have like the fingers bending under. This is a mess right there. I'm sorry. That's my fault. It's not you, it's me. Okay, so for hand, I think that's going to be... You never want the hand to be bigger than basically the face. So from like the hairline to the chin, you want the hand to basically fit inside it. Like I say basically because you're always going to have a little variation. And if you're drawing in some kind of foreshortened perspective, hands and faces are going to be larger or smaller, you know. But for a drawing like this, where you're basically looking at the character without any deep perspective changes. And let's get the hands either... I'm deciding. I think let's bring the hand up so that it's out of the tail silhouette and more fully inside the wing silhouette. I don't know why I'm trying to clean that up now. Oh, and here, now that I've moved it, this is not going to be so big. That little wrist lump would smooth out just a little bit. Because now you're putting like tension against it. Okay. Let's get this boyo out of here. So this is another example where I think I did this in the drawing last week too, is I would pull the arm away from the body just a little bit. Again, just to get like a shape in here. And maybe even show the spiky boys better. Ooh, okay, a little bit of lag. That's okay. That's okay. We're keeping it together. Every time the computer lags, I'm like, oh, this is it. We're losing power. It's all going. luckily I have a backup battery on my computer. So if it does go out, I can save and just keep recording later, I guess. Then it'll be like a Redline Wednesday, though, because I'm sure it'll push my rendering time back. I shouldn't do that. That's a bad habit I do with my own drawing. Is like I'll be thinking and I'll go and just start drawing on some other part. Okay, let's do this. No, I'm thinking about this hand. I think the knuckles will go this way. Hand. So right now it's going to be a box. Well, I think. So you want to find the... Come on. There we go. You want to find the midline on the hand. And that will be the gap between the middle finger and the ring finger. I had to look at my own hand because of the smartness. And then splitting it down further, you're going to get the gaps between the index in the middle and then the ring and the pinky. And then here, again, if you want, you could bend one of these fingers up just to kind of break up this, you know, like boink, 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 like that shape there. I also think the fingers are a little long on the top, even for a character with long fingers. I probably should have made this drawing just like a touch bigger when I brought it into Photoshop. This is actually the original DPI as it was given to me. And because I use kind of a sketchy soft brush, it's sort of all blending together a little bit. I apologize. So let's do the neck. So I started to do the... why can I never think of the names of these muscles? There's a bro in the comments who every time I forget, he's like, "Pa pa pa," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry." I always forget. These look good though for the most part here. It's just, I don't know if bro has an Adam apple. Not guy in my comics, but or comments, but this guy. But I like to do a little Adam's apple, you know, for funsies. I would also, for a character that's kind of stretching their neck back a little bit, I might turn the head this way. Also, I'm kind of guessing where the back of that, like the skull is and all that. And he's got like a really defined cheekum edge. I'm sorry. I'm like turning your whole character's head. It's happening. I'm so sorry, Dragon. It's always fun to take a character that's like really stylized and try to like put their head into perspective. Oops. Okay. So, like my characters, your character's bottom eyelid falls on that cut there. I don't know what you, like, what's that called on a head? This part here. It's like where the cheekbone goes in. That fold. I don't know. I'm sorry, this kind of looks like a horrific, like, bastard child version of, like, a trying human character in your character. Oh, one thing, and you don't have to do this, completely disregard. When I first looked at this drawing, I wasn't sure what this line was. It took me like a hot second to realize it was hair. I thought you were doing some like wild stylized thing with the face. So if I was you, you don't have to listen to me. I would try to get this like up away from the face, no matter like what angle you draw the character as. What it goes down like this, and it kind of makes like a little like clef note, triple note kind of a thing at the end, like that. Okay, something like that. Again, you don't have to listen to me. You can completely disregard this video. But that's what I would do, because I wasn't sure what was going on there initially. And I'm the most important. And then he's got this cute little like heart-shaped lip. And then he's got sideburns. Wonk, 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 wonk. And then pointy ears. And I think the head size is good on both mine and yours. It's always hard to say with like cartoony characters. I try not to get like too wild about head sizes and things like that, because depending on like how stylized you're going. Though now that I'm looking at this, no, it has nothing to do with the head. I think this pec needs to be wider, like that. I feel better now. Yeah. Okay. And I think that, like, maybe my head needs to be smaller. I have a problem with big heads, including my own. No, I'm actually very, like, not self-assured or anything. I'm actually a big insecure baby. Please listen to what I say about anatomy. Anyway, so let's do the wings, which are far better than any wing I've ever drawn in my entire life. But you've basically got the right idea. You're going to be wanting to draw arm anatomy, lengthened, warped, demonic arm anatomy. You even went and did like the whole hand and everything. I'm so lazy. I never do that. I draw these kind of wings occasionally and try and human, and I'm just like, you're like, I don't spend any time on them. Woo, that's too close. Oh, that lag. Getting a little lag every now and then. I don't know what that is. I'm hoping it's just because I'm recording. Now I'm just tracing yours to figure out how to do mine. Reverse Redline Tuesday. The child is being educated. How would I do that? I would do the thumb like that. Yeah, like, look at that. Oh my god. It's beautiful. See, I'm not doing it. I'm not even doing it for you, so... If I don't do it for myself, I'm not doing it for you. Now, I might like bend that out a little bit, just for the majesty of it. But this is kind of like nitpicky, like personal preference kind of crap. So that's one thing to remember when you're doing these kind of bat wings, demon wings, the wings that have like the membrane in them. You can sort of do a curve to try to remember, like, to keep everything in line. You don't want like finger joints to be all different lengths uh, on each wing, or else you're gonna get some pretty gnarly shapes. Unless you do, and then homie, go for it. Like, this is your world. So I don't know. That still looks right, even though I kind of did it wrong. Well, it shows how little I know. So, like that. Oh, I like that. I like how it... I'm going to try to do that again over here. Let's do it again. It's kind of giving me like a spider leg sort of feel. That like little... Like how it's narrow up here and then it tapers down to that. I think that's cool. Trying to lock that away in my art memory bank. So this one... let's do a different color, and so that we can see it better. Do I have like a different orange or something I can do? Yeah, so this arm would, or this wing arm would connect over here, and then you're gonna put it into perspective. And then it's going to bend up. We're kind of trying to draw a trapezoid between this joint, the wrist joint, pseudo wrist joint. You kind of get what I'm laying down here, right? So this is the wrist joint over here. This is the elbow joint here. We want like a trapezoid shape to form between them. So for shapes that are, I keep doing that. For shapes that are in the background like this, especially on a character that has so many dark features, including dark wings, I would put some kind of a fade here, or something to push the shape further into the background, this back wing. Like, I love the red. Like, I love the spikes and stuff. They're great. So I don't know, like, I'll have to mess with it just like a tiny bit after this, but I feel like I need to start doing that more. Flipping it on. I do it on my own drawings that I'm like, oh, I don't know if you guys can do that or not on yours. And I feel like this elbow is not correct. Also, I'm kind of like looking at how I've drawn at least this hand. I have a habit of drawing like plumper hands. Like you might want to skinny up his hands due to his skinniness. Yeah, and I've kind of drawn this head on a weird pitch too. There we go. And I'm going to move the butt up higher. I'm like never going to be satisfied with this leg. Maybe something like that. I might also, on second thought, put this on some kind of flat ground. I don't know what your final intention is for the drawing, so if this doesn't like work with a design plan or something that you're, you know, like if you're doing a sticker or something, you want him like more floaty, then, you know, forget me. And then by the way, I know I haven't said like boo about the tail, but it's good. So that's why I haven't said anything. Like there's only like one little spot in here, which is like right in here. Proceeds to overcomplicate that spot so you can't tell what's going on anymore. Sorry. Yeah, so like right here I would just make this a little wider at the base and bring this line down to here. I have a trick for doing tails and horns and things in Photoshop, like tubular or cylindrical tapering objects. I have like a little method that I do. If I had more time, I'd show you, but I don't have time. So, so you have to use all extra brain power and draw it, and I apologize. Oh man, I didn't even do the top of the pants. I didn't even do the top of the pants. They're pretty good though, so. I've gotten in the habit lately of doing like a little bunched up like fly seam. I just think it looks cool. What probably happened was I probably had somebody commission me and they had a character reference and the character had like a bunched up fly seam and I had to draw it for my drawing and then I learned how to do it and then I was like, oh, added to the repertoire. I had a commissioner once who, God, they drew gorgeous, and I don't know what they were doing asking me to draw for them, but they sent me a reference sheet of their character, and their character had like an eye, pretty much the way I draw them, but the shading like hit about halfway down the eye, And I was like, oh man, that's so pretty looking. I'm taking that. And now I keep doing it. I probably do it too much. I do it when it's like not appropriate. I'm assuming these are like horns. I know I said I wasn't going to mess with them, but I'm doing it. I'm messing with them. They kind of make me think of like little puppy ears. Like, when you draw a puppy ear and it's got that like little like overlap fold right there. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of that just a little bit. All right, sorry, I just spelled my mic. I think that looks pretty good. Anatomy wise. I hope I haven't said or done anything that has caused offense. I'm always like very nervous about these. I'm always like waiting for the person who asked for it to like come back at me and be like, "How dare you?" Good times. This elbow, yo. I don't know what it is. It's really bugging me. And maybe like that. I want it to be a little stylized. I want it to like have some, for it to be sucked in a little bit to kind of match like these parts, but I don't know. I hope that looks okay. Oops. I've been putting these onto really large canvases and then cropping them down later so we can all look at them. So this is mine. Well, hold on. This is bothering me. Okay. So this is mine. It's Dragonaris's. The biggest thing was just turning that foot. The original foot's really good though. I like the original foot. I think it needs to be in a different drawing. Don't worry, I do that all the time. I do those feet. I do like a nice hand or foot, and then later I'm like, no, I can't use this. Also, I apologize for the flashing. I'm trying to go slow so it doesn't become overwhelming. Few little spots that I could probably tighten up. But I actually have to tighten up my own sketches today, so I can't work on this anymore. By the way, I don't really go that far on Redline Tuesdays. I basically do, a really general like look at the drawing and then I go from there. Wow, this hand still feels too big to me, but I don't think it is. Maybe just flatten it a little bit. Okay. But if you guys ever wanted to see like how I would take a drawing further than this, like how I would tighten up areas or like start inking it, for example, let me know. Because like I said, this is sort of like this is it. This is like the length that I would go for Redline Tuesday. But the way that I would actually like use the sketch is gonna look different than what the sketch is now. So yeah, if that makes any sense. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it for now. This one ran a little longer than normal, but yeah. Ooh, I got a little yawn. Oh, you know what? Also, well, it's going so long, isn't it? I probably should let it go. But I was gonna say, You might want to like show a little bit of transparency through the wing. But we're starting to get into like art critiques, like not critiques, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like we're going too deep. We're too deep. We gotta pull back. I do like this character though. I like this idea of this like scrawny demon fellow. I'm sorry I didn't put the spikies on him. I'm not that good of a person. You can do the spikies. All right, I'm gonna stop now because I'll just keep chewing away at this for like another 2 hours, and then I'll be like, why didn't Train Human get done today? So, all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.